Hey, this is Shane Point to the Word. This will be a current events video on Saddleback Pastor Rick Warren. He's about to retire in September. And so I'm a little late to the game. This happened a couple weeks ago, but nevertheless, Andy Wood from Echo Church is about to basically take over for him. So I'm going to add a whole bunch of links in the description below about everything I'm using. But basically, Andy Wood, as of like 4 years ago, um, and I want to like make a disclaimer, like a lot can change in 4 years, so like I'm going off the assumption that he's still, believing the same thing he did then regarding this. So he had a series called "What Does the Bible Say About LGBT?" You asked for it, so he had that as Echo Church, and so a couple of things I want to bring out, like so like backing up, like I understand, you know, if you sin, like you're not gonna, change 100% overnight. So like I understand, if you guys, have certain sins, like that doesn't all change like overnight. I get that, and so um, I want to be very like cautious when I say what I'm saying about all this, because he basically like had the his video, and it seemed like he was totally pandering to everyone. So like I don't know, I listened to the whole video, and like I'll provide that video in the link. And so I'm listening to it, and like some of the stuff I'm like, okay, and then it's like right when I was agreeing with it, he like flip flop, like not flip flop, but he like just kind of pandered to like that crowd, and then you know what I mean. He just I don't know, like just like back and forth. He like gave each kind of like crowd, like whether you believe homosexuality is a sin or what I mean, stuff like that. And so he started like pandering to like each little crowd, it seemed, and like never really went, on, I don't know, like it was really weird. You have to, look it up. But so like he was bouncing all over the place, and so like I don't know, it just seemed like he was trying to, please everyone. So and he's like, this is the hardest message I've ever had to preach, and all this. And I'm like, wait, on LGBT, like what are you talking about? And so I want to pull up a verse from Galatians 1:10. It says, "For do I now persuade men or God? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be a servant of Christ." So I really want to bring that out, because it's like, you can tell he's pandering, you know what I mean? Like he's trying to, please, he doesn't want to make, a certain section, of his Echo Church, upset. So I don't know. I was totally like listening to him, like, dude, like you could have went a lot further, but you're just, I don't know, like tickling ears and stuff. So anyway, so that was the first video I watched, and then I think I heard about like him replacing Rick Warren, and so then at work yesterday I was listening to this, and this one's called "A New Season Ahead for Echo Church, Andy and Stacie Wood." So this happened like 2 weeks ago. So all this happened, I mean, like Rick Warren said, he's going to retire, and then Andy Wood, they had this at their own Echo Church, and they're like, hey, we're leaving, so and then yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. Like I could go on a whole bunch of different rabbit trails, but yeah, they're basically like Andy and Stacie Wood. They're I'll put the link in the description for that video too. But like, if you don't want to watch, like it's like 50 some minutes. So yeah, it's like basically to the effect of, yeah, God called me to Echo Church, but now I'm kind of feeling like it was all feeling, dude. Like it was just, well, I really feel like, whatever. So like they're like, oh, I'm kind of feeling, something a little different now. So I'm getting reassigned and stuff like that. And they kept saying like, like they said like 2 or 3 times, like this is not a promotion, like really. Like I like Saddleback Church is like one of the biggest churches in America. Like it's up there. So I don't know. Like I anyway. So yeah, they were talking about all this stuff, and they're like, yeah, we met with Rick Warren, and we're, we felt in our hearts that, we should be, you know, going over here and stuff like that. Like I feel in my heart that I'm being reassigned or anyway. So Rick Warren's stepping aside, and now Andy Wood's going to take his spot, and then, basically someone in Echo Church, like, it was like, oh, I feel like, the Lord said that I need to, be a leader or something. So now they're like, he's going to be like the interim, like acting like, pastor at Echo Church now. So, anyway, so I want to bring all that out. So now it's kind of going to Rick Warren now. Like so he kind of flip flopped on like gay marriage and stuff like that too. So there's like links I want to put there too, where they had like a Proposition 8, which is basically, they like, I don't know, he made a video on like, how he was like trying to, get people to, go for like Proposition 8 or something like that. And like the video I'll put in the description, like it goes a lot more in depth, but basically like he was on Larry King, and like he basically like said, I'm not against gay marriage or stuff like that. So I don't know. I'll link it in the description below. So then about a year ago, he ordained 3 women pastors, quote unquote, and so it's getting like very like kind of progressive and stuff. So and so going back to the Andy Wood, and I actually was about to make the point like probably 6 minutes ago, but I never did. But so back when I was saying like Andy Wood, like he, I want to be careful because people who sin, they don't change overnight. But so going off of that, I apologize. I should have brought that up earlier, but I totally forgot my train of thought. But going back to that, so I don't want, like overnight, people don't change 100% overnight. I totally get that. But apparently, and I was watching that video where Andy Wood, was, what does the Bible say about LGBT? So in that video, he said that he's taking like pictures with a group in his church. There's like 15 members. He's like, we had a meeting with the LGBT, community here, and we sat in my office, and we hugged and all this. And he's like, I had the privilege to sit down with these people. And like totally pandering. That's what I was, getting at earlier, because like he was, like seriously, he spent like 2 minutes on this group, and he totally pandered to them, and oh, I don't want to lose this group, so I'll pander to you guys now, and oh, I gotta go back to, just like, seriously, it was, I don't know. So anyway, he said 15 people from our church who represent the LGBT. So, like, think about that. So, 15 people in his church, represent the LGBT community. Like I don't know, like they're representatives. Like this isn't like, oh, we're we feel convicted of this sin and stuff like that. Like they are LGBT representatives, people who represent them. 15 of them in his church. So it's like you see where he's at there, and so I don't know. Like I think of all this stuff, and and like my other videos, I try to document stuff like. Like just 100%, like you can't, get around it. Like, Catholic Church, like you need the 7 sacraments in order for salvation. They're necessary for salvation. Like that's fact, and that's documented and stuff like that. Like I love documenting stuff. I don't like to, go to conjecture too much because I don't know, but I don't know, like, so like, Rick Warren, he's never really had a full blown stance on LGBT and stuff like that, or as far as like homosexuality and stuff like that. So he's kind of been, I don't want to say neutral, but around there. So like Andy Wood, it seems like he's a little bit more progressive, and so I don't know. I see this like promotion as, it'll get worse. So, and also I was listening to like some of the words that like Stacie, like his wife, was using and stuff, and they're saying, I totally forgot the word. Uh, Maybe it'll come back to me. I don't know, but she's like talking a lot of like energy and like new age kind of talk and stuff like that, and so um, I wish I could think of that word. But anyway, yeah. So they're, I don't know, the way I was listening to her talk, it's like very new agey kind of talk. So anyway, I'll cut it there. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.